Hey everyone, my name is Olivia and I am the award-winning author of Cactus in the Valley. But that's not why you're here. You're here to hear me rant all about why I think Umbrella Academy kind of sucks. Everyone, I think, looks for something different in a good story. Some prefer story over character. Some people prefer romance over science fiction. What I'm saying is that everyone prioritizes different things when going into a story. And this, of course, changes their perception when they're going into it. But I think the real magical thing is that fiction is not static. It's an entirely different entity inside the mind of each person who consumes that story. So it's kind of hard to say, I guess, what really makes a good story or a bad story. Art is subjective. It just is. There are no rules, only guidelines. So I guess, in short, this is my opinion about Umbrella Academy. But of course, I'm going to back it up with substantial analysis. Also, I'm making bread. Good dialogue is several things. Now, there are people who have covered this topic in much more detail than I ever could, so I'll link their awesome video essays down below. However, there's one aspect of dialogue that I want to focus on, and that is subtext. I think subtext is the most important part of good dialogue, and like all good dialogue has subtext. The two are kind of mutually exclusive. Subtext, if you're not aware, is what the characters mean and not the literal words that they're saying. It's like when someone says, "I'm fine." Like, you know they're not actually fine. So that's an example of subtext. However, Umbrella Academy has one of the worst scripts and the worst dialogue I have ever seen in a show that is this hyped up. The dialogue is just so bland. All of the characters have such mundane conversations with each other. Instead of using the dialogue to create interesting character dynamics full of tension, everyone speaks to each other so matter-of-factly. Character motivations, goals, backstories, they're all just stated outright instead of being hinted at or being given proper development. Everyone says what they mean in the show, and that makes for such a not fun watching experience because there's nothing for the audience to like read into in the dialogue. A good dialogue makes the audience listen, and Umbrella Academy just doesn't have that. The dialogue in the show was not a storytelling device, one that could further the themes and character in powerful ways. It was just a vehicle to further the overstuffed and thin plot. The plot. The best stories, in my opinion, of course, are very tightly woven, where the characters and plot are almost indiscernible from one another. The best stories have such intimate and rapid-fire focus that everything in the story ties back to the story and the character's main arc and themes. However, Umbrella Academy was a mess. I couldn't tell who the main character was at first, which is a very bad thing. And sure, you could argue that it was an ensemble cast, but I think all good ensemble casts, like Lost, I love Lost, always establish the main character first, by trying to put the same amount of focus on every single character. The story has successfully placed emphasis on nothing. Umbrella Academy is overstuffed and spread thin all at the same time. The way that it attempts to weave together all these characters and their arcs and their plot lines, giving each equal screen time and emotional weight, makes them all feel flat in comparison to each other. Quoting a far superior superhero franchise. When everyone's super, no one will be. Quoting yet another far superior superhero franchise, mankind has always feared what it does not understand. Magneto. Say what you will about the camp in the X-Men movies and the unfortunate trend of so-so trilogy finales. Something that those films do very right is their development of themes. In my opinion, the themes are probably the most important part of any kind of story. Without themes, a story has no meaning. What the X-Men movies do so well is that it takes the concept of mutants and builds complex themes and messages around an already existing story and makes grounded parallels that are relevant and powerful. Good and evil being two sides of the same coin. Super interesting and relevant. The movies examine humanity in maybe not the most subtle way, but in a way that can be applied to many real-world scenarios and many people's personal experience. This allows the story to stay relevant and gives the story cultural weight and significance. Because, let's face it, the reason Shakespeare is so timeless is because it explores universal themes. However, I can't think of one universal theme present in Umbrella Academy. Since the plot is all over the place, so are the themes. None of the seeds of interesting thematic content are given enough room to grow and develop. It's a shame, really. Honestly, I kind of hated Umbrella Academy. I could keep going on and on about how inadequate I felt it was, but it really wasn't like completely devoid of anything anything good. So there were some aspects that I definitely did like. The soundtrack was fun, the aesthetic was cool, and there were some really good character moments. And I mean, I kind of liked everybody, but I wasn't like super invested in like one character, and I think that's kind of a problem. But overall, it suffered from messy and slow plotting, and it lacked the narrative focus, skilled writing, and theme development to make an actual good, compelling, and engaging story. As someone who loves the X-Men series for its conceptual and thematic development, I guess I was just expecting more. Thank you to everyone for watching my second official video as I try and revive this channel. This video was scripted, and that probably kind of shows. It was a little awkward at times, but we're getting the hang of it. I'm getting the hang of it. As I already said, this is just my opinion, and some of you will not like that. And that's okay. And I want to welcome thoughtful analysis in the description, or not description, in the comments below. So let me know what you think. And if you have any praises, any criticisms, just go for it. Go off. And I will link those really awesome videos about dialogue and subtext in the description. Don't forget to buy my book, A Cactus in the Valley, on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So, there's my bed. Ugh. Bye.